I got to knock Cuz on the pod. Are we live?
Okay. Yeah. Too late.
I'm not. I've been better. I've been
Like
better.
So yeah, we're good.
I'm good. I'm good. I
Not
can
too
hear.
loud.
No, it's good.
Okay. So
Oh my gosh! No, I'm just kidding.
what?
I was just gonna say you're too loud, but
I thought maybe you were gonna say you had to pee again.
no. Are we live? Oh, we're
Okay.
live.
So well, how many years have we been doing this now? Here at this is third year. Okay.
Yeah, I
third,
know. And Tristan,
Third
listen.
edition.
I've been on all 3 times.
You've been
That's
on all
right.
3 times, and then listen. You
That's
were
right.
in Dawson, out of Dawson, in Dawson. Next year, you better be in Dawson.
Listen, I'm here to stay unless they fire me.
Hey, you know what they call that, right?
What's
Blessed.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Exactly.
Blessed. Where's Benny Weston? Was sitting right over there.
Yeah.
I could tell him that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
go get Benny.
That's right.
Go, well, Benny's on the phone, but
Yeah.
we're going to tell Benny.
Benny's
oh,
always
Dawson
Get him
is
over
better
here,
co-op,
for
Benny.
sure.
He's always on the phone, but I think that's because he owes a lot of people a lot of money. That's what I'm thinking. So
Everybody calls him for favors. That's what
yeah.
happens.
that's it.
Benny knows everybody.
Yeah.
That's right. So this is the live version of Spilling the Tea at the Superintendent Symposium
Yes.
at AAEA. AAEA stands for.
Arkansas Association of Educational Administrators.
Woo, man, you nailed
A
that.
plus,
That's
Candace.
good.
A plus.
A plus.
Don't ask him what
Yeah,
acronyms
yeah,
are. He's not going to get
Yeah.
them.
And so, and our first guest today is the esteemed Tristan Canadle from Bismarck.
Yes, yes.
And this is year
3 as a superintendent.
Uh-huh.
1 for being at Bismarck.
right back home. So, and the thing is about Bismarck. Let's just get right to the good stuff. Man, that close in football this year.
So close. You know, I got to say this though. I'm super proud of those guys. They
Right.
really they've built a program, and you know when they came, the program was on a real downturn.
Right. Sure.
And
yeah.
you know, from winning 10 games last year to 14 this year,
Right.
13 this year,
Yeah.
and man, it's just amazing the job they've done. Not so long ago, Bismarck didn't even have a football program.
Right,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know,
Well, I tell you, one of the things that probably in the couple 3-4 games that I watched them was that was impressive to me was just you can tell that. I mean, that is definitely a coaching thing, but the sportsmanship, and by that I mean and not a lot of BS talking, helping the opponents up, and as a former coach, both of us, I mean, we know that's just as important, probably
Absolutely.
most important.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know, that was a thing that was just expected when I coached at
Sure.
Rise. And
Right.
also DJ coached with Mr. Chambers, our high school principal
Gotcha.
at Harmony Grove, and they were the same way. They were in a
okay.
real class
Yeah.
program
Yeah.
there
Good.
too. So
That's
I,
awesome.
it's nice to see and refreshing because you
Right.
don't see that a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
And close game, and it is cool that both of the teams, but in
Yep.
your division, they
I-
have not been there before. so.
Obviously wanted us to win, but it's
Oh, yeah.
really cool anytime you hear whichever school wins is going to get the first
First
state
That's
thing-
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that was
That's
really
really
cool.
cool, yeah.
and like I said, you hate to get that close, but man, still, what an incredible year.
Absolutely.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
I told them, you know, we played for a championship my last year at Rising, and we lost 26-22.
Yeah.
And I said, give it about 10 years, and you'll feel better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's going to take a long time for
Yeah.
this thing to go away. But, you know, you do look back and say,
Yeah.
man, what a cool experience.
Oh yeah.
So many coach for 30 years
Yeah.
and never make it there.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And the thing I love about it too, at that level, but these two teams in particular, is just watching the whole town show up.
Absolutely.
You
You know, I had several guys who I've known in that community for most of my life tell me that when we played Prescott that night, there was 2,000
Wow.
rough estimate people
Yeah.
there.
Whew.
And one of the gentlemen at least covers the entire history of the field we were playing on now.
Okay.
He played in
Right.
the very first game
Wow.
there. Told me, said, I've never seen this many people here.
Wow.
And then, of course, as we went through the playoffs, it got more and more. In the championship game, we sold more tickets pre-sale for the championship game than any school in any classification.
Oh, wow.
AAA told us. So
that's
they
awesome.
really showed up and showed
Yeah,
out.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know, I had a nephew playing on the team too, so
Yeah.
that was really cool to
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
watch. I asked him when they made it to the championship. He was little when we played, and you know, him and his brother were dying to come down on the field. So we took him down there with us, and I asked him, I said, "Do you remember coming?" We were in the same locker room on the same, and so they got to come down and run around, and then I ended up watching them play. So
That's awesome.
cool.
That's a great memory.
You have a lot of
right there.
seniors, or do you guys have?
We do have a lot of seniors, but we got a lot back. You know, our quarterback was a senior.
Yeah.
We have several linemen
Right.
that we're losing that were all good players,
Yeah.
and so we're going to have to replace them. But I have no doubt,
Right.
you know, that
Yeah.
That's good.
we could be right back in contention again
Well,
next year, I think.
Just like, I mean, football field classroom, winning, I mean, just begets success. There's no doubt about it.
It's a great way to start the year for sure.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and you know, in this particular time, since we are live, I mean, we're in the midst of a superintendent's favorite time of year, right? And that's inclement weather. My gosh.
Well, you can't win for losing. That's what we were just talking about before.
Well, you know, back in the good old days, like when I worked in radio, it was really kind of funny, you know, because, you know, we'd get chastised because you didn't have all this stuff. Basically, we did what they called a rip and read. They'd get the forecast, we'd read it, but it's still my fault because either it did or it did not happen, right?
Exactly.
We got to blame somebody there.
And my favorite thing of all, though, is like I said earlier, is when those kids would call in and say, "Hey, this is you know, this is Mr. Canadle over at Bismarck. Where I'm shutting school down."
Yeah.
And I'd go, "Really? Well, okay. What's the password? Password. Click." You know, so.
Yeah, they don't know that there's passwords and all
That's
that.
right. Exactly.
And,
So.
and what's so funny now is, you know, in 3 years as superintendent, I'm not sure that I've contacted the news because everybody gets it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I saw a thing on Facebook one time. These kids have really been robbed of getting up early on the day that you watch it
That's
scroll
right.
across the bottom of the screen.
Watch it.
Yeah.
The bus is going to come get you.
Yeah. Dang it! I missed it. I got to watch the whole loop.
For me, being from Fordyce, like it was right in the middle, so I missed the F. So I've got to wait till it rolls back around.
Yeah. But it's like you say, once the call's been made, it's instantaneous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as I mean, anything, you know, challenges. You know, we got a session coming up legislatively thinking. I mean, you know, that's always you know, a time of year. I think. You know, when people get in there and they start thinking, "Oh no, a legislative session," but what I can say is, you know, good, bad, and indifferent. I mean, the Learns has done some good things, you know, obviously, and then you know, it's such an important thing. We talked about this earlier in our co-op meeting. Is just, you know, making sure we're proactive with each other.
Sure,
you know?
and that's the most important thing, you know. And we've had some conversations at the co-op this year, pre-legislative session, about a couple of issues that we're a little concerned about. You know, I just think it's important to try to keep open line of communication with your
100%.
legislators, you know, and talk to them, and you know, not necessarily fire and brimstone.
That's right.
There's middle ground we can reach.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're really good. The ones that I've experienced working with when I was at Mount Ida and here are very good about listening to us. And you know,
well, and you know, and like I said, I sat in the seat of superintendent for 9 years, but like you're saying, there is give and take on both sides. I mean, I can remember my very first session, what an eye-opening experience that was. And I learned at that point, I mean, I have as much responsibility as getting you know, taking care of business as they do, right? So, So, I mean, you know, third year in as superintendent, I know the school district's a little different in size. Any major differences that –
You know, it's the same. The job is the same to me on all scales, from Mount Ida, which is really small, to, say, Springdale, which is really large. You got the same kinds of issues. It's just on a different scale. You know, there's more people at Bismarck. We're a little over twice the size Mount Ida was. There's more people, more kids. But the issues and the struggles are the same.
And you mentioned kids. Kids are kids.
Kids are kids.
Kids are
Wherever
kids.
you go.
Forever. Kids will be kids.
I've been in 5 school districts, and they're the same anywhere you go. Sure.
So now, you've got kids in school, right?
I have 3 kids in school.
All
girls.
Oh, wow.
You can see my hair is turning gray.
That's right.
That's why.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, is it the girls or is it the superintendent?
No, the superintendent's the easy part of mine, for sure. But
be careful, Tristan.
I say I have
just
four,
wait till they're
really,
all teenagers.
You know, Katrina's there too.
Sure. How old? What grade?
So Kaylee, my oldest, is in 6th grade.
Okay.
I have one in 3rd grade, and I have one in 1st grade.
All right.
Just wait till they're all teens.
I see Landry over there. If you need a mentor with the girl thing.
So he
girl dad.
yeah,
He has
girl
three
dad.
girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. His latest.
He can relate. He can relate.
His
to
latest
girls.
is a freshman at OBU, so he's been there, done that.
Okay, so he's kind of on the other side.
Oh yeah.
I'm just getting started.
So, exactly. So he could tell you probably more what not to do than to do. I'm guessing.
I learned what not to do. You know.
Well, I think how he tells me, he says this is how you do it. Sounds good.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Listen,
I'm good at
my
that.
daughter's getting married in April, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh, you're going to have 3 weddings."
Oh yeah. I have to work till I'm 100.
Yeah.
To pay it all off.
Yeah. Exactly.
You better start saving now. I'm just telling you
Well,
right now.
yeah, it's already too late.
I think so. If you hadn't started putting away,
Sarah and Braden, they're doing small, and it is still expensive. I mean, like it's just very small, but I'm like, good grief.
That's all I can hope is they're like their mom. It was small. And, and you know, it's getting on back there, so it's not as cheap as it was then. But
either that or they hook up with somebody in the medical field or something like that. Yeah.
Get a doctor.
That's right. That's right.
I understand.
All right. Well, we got our next victim lined up, and man, appreciate it. Hey, good luck with that snow call.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank y'all.
All right. See you, man. Appreciate it. Hey.
Oh, hey, if he knows Roy, okay. Candace, I'm Candace. Nice to meet you. Brad, nice to meet you.
All right. Okay. Hey, this is just question and answer. So
I think, we're back on.
Right.
You know, I really think that you should put Katie's purse back on your head. Like you had a minute ago.
That's not a purse. Do you think
let
that's
me
a purse?
see it. Come here, Katie.
Does that look like an ear wrap or what?
Let me see. Listen,
they'll probably keep your ears warm.
Yeah, see there? I mean, it was sitting on the table like this, and I said, wow, somebody got a new ear muff thing.
I didn't even know it was a purse. That's really cute, though. It's super cute.
Yeah, hey, for you. So, okay. All right. So again, we're just rolling through having conversations, and you are
Brad Culver, Superintendent at Paris.
Paris. All right. Okay. Good deal. Yeah. I think you guys may be in a conference, but I know you play some of the schools in our co-op, right? Like the Jessievilles, maybe.
We do in football.
Okay, in football.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been to Hot Springs more in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Than I probably have the rest of my life altogether.
Yeah. So where is home for you?
I live between Paris and Ozark.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I'm from right there.
Yeah. Born and raised in that area?
Yes, sir.
Tell me you don't know Jim Ford.
Well, Ford and I are neighbors.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
God.
See, we can get some stories.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he was my boss at Ozark.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
I got you use that term loosely.
So how long have you been superintendent?
I'm still counting in months.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
So,
congrats.
And you hadn't took off running yet, right?
I haven't took off running, and I mean I made it to Christmas, and I'm still there.
Hey, that's
right.
good. That's good.
That's an incredible start. So, so kind of what was your journey to education, if you will?
So I have a business management degree from Tech.
Okay.
Went to work in business.
Right.
Didn't like sitting in a cubicle.
Right.
Went back to my old high school counselor. Hey, I don't like what I do. I want to do something, try to make a difference.
Right.
And I wanted to be a physics teacher.
Sure.
And he told me, he said, Brad, you can be a physics teacher, but in rural Arkansas, there's one per school.
Right. That's right.
He said, if you'll be an elementary school teacher, you'll get a job this year.
Yeah, no kidding.
So he kind of helped me. I had to take some classes to do early childhood, and I got hired as a 3rd grade teacher at Ozark.
Right.
Awesome.
Did that for a while, and then as a 3rd grade male teacher, you get all the kids that probably need a male role model.
Exactly.
Was the term they would use.
Yeah.
So from there, I became a counselor. I did that for 3 or 4 years at elementary school. Got moved to the middle school. Was a counselor.
Gotcha.
and then was a principal at the middle school at Ozark when I had the opportunity to go to Paris.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. And the thing is, you said something that caught my attention about the counselor. I mean, we talk about relationships in this business. And, I mean, that's true probably in any business, but I think more so in education. But to have the faith and the opportunity to go back and say to your counselor.
Yes.
And know that they're not going to look down on you and say, well, I told you so.
Well, to go back to my high school counselor.
Sure.
Yes,
right.
And then
awesome.
professionally become a counselor.
Oh, yeah.
That was
full circle, I'm
and
sure.
to give back.
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
I tell Dr. Dixon, my professor I had at Tech, that for the counseling, that was a life-changing thing.
Right.
As an administrator, as a superintendent, to have the listening component that I didn't have before.
Sure. Yeah.
That program, it made me a better dad, made me a better husband, and it really helps.
Yeah. Well, in
this role.
And this is 29 for me, but before that, my bachelor's was in radio television, right?
He was definitely not a counselor.
But see, I still can't hear what she's saying. So, but with the radio, TV, and some of the PR skills, those kinds of names, getting to know names and that kind of stuff has really paid off in all the positions I've held as principal, assistant principal, superintendent, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, so going forward, I mean, you've got a semester under your belt. I mean, what are you most looking forward to going forward?
Well, for me, everything's new.
Sure.
Last summer, I didn't. If I was in town, I was at work.
Right.
If we weren't traveling, I was in the office.
Sure.
And everything's new.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like looking at creating a calendar for next year.
Right.
I
haven't done it. Yeah.
I've not done that before.
Yeah.
Right.
So just getting through this first year, and you don't want to change a lot of stuff at a new job.
That's right.
And you keep notes. You're like, well, I don't know if I like this or that.
Right. Yeah.
To just have a year under my belt and try to make it more my own.
Oh, 100%.
Not that I want to go change a bunch of stuff next year either, but just to have that year under my belt and to
Well, and the important thing obviously is just having great folks around you. I used to say you hire great people and get out of the way, but since then somebody's changed my thinking on that. They say you hire great people and you learn from each other, and that is so true.
Yeah.
Well, and it's good that you have that relationship with Jim, so you can lean on him
and learn what not to do.
I know.
Well, there's a lot of knowledge in our co-op.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Whenever I go and sit down, I'm one of the younger ones, and
right.
In seniority for sure,
right.
And then age-wise, so to sit in that room and just to try to soak all that up,
right?
Because there's a lot of knowledge.
Oh yeah. And there's a lot to be said for those critical friends that won't blow smoke up your dress or however they want to say it, but will get real with you and say, look, man, have you thought about trying this or So you're in a good spot right there for sure. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're rolling folks through pretty quick today, but, man, we appreciate you taking the time to sit here and talk to us. And, obviously, if you want to see how a real co-op works, come on down, doors open. Have Jim drive you.
Yeah.
Bring me.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, get him to buy lunch, maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know about that. Yeah, he probably would, If we get a big enough steak, I know he will, right?
That's right.
All right, man. Well, good luck, too. But no kidding, if you ever need anything, let us know.
Nice to meet you. And hope you have a great rest of your year.
Thank you.
And get a hat. Grab a hat.
Yep.
And wear it when you go to the next co-op meeting. Would you?
That's right. Where'd you find the bottle of water?
I brought it from the house. Yeah.
Hey, Katie, we're trying to do a podcast. We're trying to do a podcast over here. And,
our behind the scenes, coordinators just left.
Good Lord, it's so hard to get good help these days.
You want your purse? It is so soft.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
How are you?
So how are you? Hey there. Lisa, good to see you.
Good to see you. Hi, Lisa.
Yeah. Do you know Candace?
Candace, I think we've met once or twice, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
One of our
put
retreats.
the old headphones on there.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
smash your
that's
hair.
why I put the hat on. You know what I'm saying? Right away. So.
Darren was nice, and he got me, he said, oh, I got you, earbuds for the podcast. And then, a month later, he goes, oh, we're switching to these headsets.
Yeah, we had to. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So.
We'll adjust.
Yeah, just pop her on there. Yeah, there you go. Just pull that right to you. There you go.
There we go.
So Lisa, I've known you a while. Candace, I guess you're just meeting her.
Yeah,
So American Fidelity. So
Yes,
tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on and about what you guys are do at these conferences.
Absolutely. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So at American Fidelity, we're a national company, and we
Right.
only work with schools.
Right.
That's it. We're in 49 states.
Wow.
Everybody always says,
Okay.
which one are you not in? And that would be New York.
Yeah.
So, and we work with about 47% of the schools in Arkansas. So we're
Right.
really proud of that and excited, and
Yeah.
we have a very clear mission to
Sure.
serve schools.
Right.
So it's fantastic.
Well, and with that service to schools, I mean, here's the thing about schools. Obviously, everybody's got some connection to schools. So, was that one of the things that kind of pulled you into that part of the insurance world? Was the school connection, or?
So I really fell into this.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say I started when I was 12 because
Right.
I've been doing this for 33
Right,
years.
right,
Which is
yeah.
insane. I
Yeah,
mean, I can't
right.
believe it.
It's flown, huh?
And really fell into it in 1991 and just fell in love with school people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, their hearts for service and
Right.
serving people.
Right.
And knowing that I could be a part of that and help
Oh,
serve
absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
And really surprising. I mean, when I first started in 91, I had probably been in 6 months, and it was in Marion schools that there was
Gotcha.
somebody that was taking advantage of teachers on the insurance side.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Right.
And it was very upsetting to everyone. And I'm
Sure.
like, I need to be a part of this to make sure that
Right.
never happens.
Oh yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how dare you
Yeah.
take advantage of
Oh
some
yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So it really became a mission to be,
Right.
that's
I
awesome.
want to be a part of it. And my mentor was so awesome.
Yeah.
She said she had been a teacher for 33 years
Mm.
and had been a part of the insurance world for
Right.
13.
Oh yeah.
And she said, all you have to remember is just do what's always best for school folks.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything else will work out.
Right.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, with teachers and all they have on their plates right now, I mean, the last thing, obviously, that they want is not being, these kinds of things that probably we take for granted. But I say that in the fact that having good service where you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking about taxes and insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Just so complicated and
That's right.
difficult to
Oh, yeah.
maneuver and
Yeah.
not something you want to read up on.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
You want to have a trusted resource to help you.
I was just say
Absolutely.
have somebody that you can trust. Yeah.
And that's what's
Yeah.
been so uplifting and awesome, and to
Right.
watch everything we do that not only helps them in their benefit side, but we are really about being a partner in the schools
Sure,
in whatever way
sure.
they need.
Yeah.
So we have leadership seminars and retirement seminars and
Right.
those kinds of things as well, because
Right.
my goodness, the state retirement is so incredible in
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas. It's like in the
100%.
top 5 in the nation.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah, we're gonna get to reap the benefits of that.
That's
soon.
right.
Oh,
Yeah. First year T-drop for both of us.
Oh,
so-
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's certainly not a bad retirement. I remember when I first got into one of the first guys that hired me. He said, "Son," he said, "I don't know if we can say great yet, but it's on its way. But it sure ain't bad." And that's when you had a choice to be contributory or
Oh,
not.
right,
And-
right.
And he said, "So throw your money in there and forget about it."
Yeah,
so that's
thank
what
goodness
I did.
I had
Yeah.
older teachers that mentored me
Mm-hmm.
and said, "You contribute," and I was like, "Okay."
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, right now, at 28 years, you can get 60% of your pay
Sure.
for
Oh.
life.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
unheard of. Plus, you
Right.
have retiree health available.
Right.
You have T-drop available. Now there's
Right.
state Medicare supplements available,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
at a great benefit to all
Right.
school
Yes.
employees. So, and then you've got the 98 rule. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
we're working with some people in Texarkana in the maintenance department that are taking advantage of the 98 rule.
And
And
that's
they're
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
this is like the best gig
Oh yeah.
ever.
For sure. For sure.
And they've worked definitely hard to get there,
Yep.
but to have that kind of opportunity that they can take
Sure.
advantage
Right.
of
Yeah.
and have for their family has been
Right.
amazing for them.
Yeah.
So what's home for you? I mean, we're born and raised where?
Well, I was born in Memphis.
Okay.
My parents,
Right.
my mom actually went to Teacher State
Okay.
to be a teacher, and her
Yeah.
best friend was from Tyronza.
I know where that's at.
And so her best friend said, I'm going to go to Memphis City Schools to teach. And they
Yeah.
got in their car when they graduated and
Wow.
drove to Memphis, showed up at the Board of Education office, said, we're
Yeah.
new teachers and we
Right.
like a job. And they went, okay.
Yeah. No problem.
Hard.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And I mean, that's the way it was done back then.
Yeah,
and
sure.
my dad was teaching as well. So I
Okay.
am the product
Wow.
of 2 teachers.
Awesome.
Aw.
And which was wonderful. So we lived in Memphis for a while,
Gotcha.
but South Arkansas is home for my
Yeah.
mom. She was
Right.
born and raised in Arkansas County. And
Okay.
so
Gotcha.
my dad went into the FBI, and we traveled everywhere. And
Yeah.
so later in life, my mom said, "Please stop making me travel. Take me home."
Right. Gotcha.
So he got a job in Little Rock.
Oh, wow.
So I
Okay,
finished my time in Little Rock, and then
Gotcha.
went to the U of A.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Live
Hey,
in
that
Little
might
Rock
be a
now.
retirement gig. We could go work for the FBI.
I don't think you'd pass the background check. So I'm
I
just
would
saying.
totally pass.
I'm just saying. So anyway.
Speak for yourself.
Well,
but-
and again, these things are pretty hit and miss, but we do appreciate you taking the time, and
Yes.
so folks can, find you probably online, I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely. Online or through AAEA or AASA or ASBO or SASBO.
Okay.
We do all of that. So
Okay. Well,
appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the sponsorships through the years that you guys do with these kinds of things because, again, it obviously putting on things of this caliber, it's getting tougher and tougher as far as just the price of everything from speakers down to a bottle of water. So we do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
I
thank
know,
you.
Dr. Hernandez does as well.
Thank
right.
you very
All
much.
right.
We're honored to be a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're sponsoring the breakfast in the morning, so we're
awesome.
excited to be here. Hopefully, not everybody leaves.
Right. Well, yeah.
But the weather
They come
coming
in the morning and
Yeah.
leave a little.
Well,
Come
but-
get some breakfast first.
Yeah.
right?
Grab
that-
breakfast
yeah.
and then stay for an hour and then leave.
Yeah. Well, the latest models are saying it's not getting in here till around noon anyway, so hopefully
That's
you'll
good.
be safe. Yeah.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Well,
All
thank
right.
y'all so
You
much.
bet.
Thank
Safe
you.
travels. Good to
Thank
see you.
Nice to see you.
All right. Good to see
Bye-bye.
you. All right. Good to see you.
there.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And grab a hat.
That's right.
Everybody gets a hat. The guests get a hat.
The only thing you're
She's
on.
rolling.
The only thing you're on is talking.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Right,
She's
yeah,
grabbing
yeah.
the guests.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with any of it. That's right.
you.
Yeah. That's right. How are you?
Thank
BJ Green, Darren Beckwith.
Candace Bennett. Nice
All
to
right.
meet you.
So
There you
BJ, yeah, just drop it on there.
Other
No,
way.
you had it
good.
right.
You had it the right way.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Now you can hear
So
it
BJ, where are you at?
better.
Carlisle,
Carlisle.
First
okay.
year.
Yeah. Okay. all right.
First year at
first year
Carlisle.
superintendent.
Yeah.
Hey, we've had another. This is what, second?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Tristan was third year, so
Yep.
new superintendents.
Well, one of my biggest memories of Carlisle, got my bachelor's radio television in Jonesboro, lived in Hot Springs. Had a little fender bender in Carlisle on the way back to school one weekend. So that was my
you
first.
were off the beaten path then.
Oh yeah,
There.
yeah. Well, back then we didn't have all these nice Newports and all that good stuff.
I've had ball game duty, I think, at Carlisle before. So
Yeah.
you know.
With who?
Magnet Co.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were in that
And-
conference, I guess, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long has it taken the district to recover from the damage that Brad Horn did to Carlisle?
Oh man, hey, he's my mentor too. 'Cause,
Oh, my
leader of
gosh,
Wilbur
man.
Mills.
No.
So he
Man.
actually hired me as the principal and athletic director.
Okay.
Which I'd coached at Carlisle and I'd left and then came back as the principal.
Okay,
so
so
I've been there. a while.
okay, so
yeah.
so he's
We're still struggling.
yeah yeah. Hey, it's gonna be like one of these snow plows. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to plow right
Yeah.
through it, bud. You know, some things are just hard to
Yeah.
get through.
Darren always says, you came to the Superintendent Symposium when you were first starting
Oh, yeah,
out, and
yeah.
you're like, I'm one of the youngest here, and now he comes
Yeah,
in, he's like, I'm the oldest.
I said, like, man, check out all these old farts. What's the deal? Now I walked in. Who in the hell opened up the nursery? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's when I started coaching. I always told people I'm the youngest one on staff.
Yeah.
Well, you know, now you can't do
yeah,
that
yeah.
anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
so what was your path to education?
I went to college.
Mhm.
I knew I wanted to teach,
Right.
and then I went the non-traditional route.
Gotcha.
My dad passed away, so I kind of needed to fast track it
Sure.
a little bit.
Right.
Got into that and started teaching at Hartford my first year
Okay.
with
yeah.
Mr. Hester. That's how I know
Right.
Mr.
oh,
Hester.
Right.
yeah, that's awesome.
Family friend and stuff. But got out of there for 1 year, went to Norflit, coached there
Gotcha,
for 2
yeah.
years. Left Norflit and went to Carlisle for 5. Left,
Gotcha.
met my wife at that time from El Dorado.
Okay. Yeah.
Got married and moved to Heber, and I was there 3 years.
Okay.
Left Heber because our family was growing. Her family's from El
Gotcha.
Dorado, and my family, both of my parents have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So moved back to El Dorado, went to
Gotcha.
Smackover when the
I
years
know that's-
Smackover
yeah.
and Norflit combined for the first year.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
The first year, that was crazy.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's where I got into administration. They let me-
Okay.
I was assistant principal, head baseball coach there.
Okay. So
Did
so
that
do you
for
know
3.
Josh Wesson then?
He was there before I got there, and then he's came back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So
yeah.
I've never met him personally.
yeah. Yeah. You ain't
but
missing much.
Well, Holly
Yeah.
Strickland.
I know Miss Strickland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she and I were in grad school.
So a good story, Miss Strickland. I was so I was assistant principal there at the high school. Well, their assistant principal was gone, so she had an issue with discipline, and she called me over there to help her. And so I go over there, elementary. I've never dealt with any elementary discipline, and this kid's going crazy. And Miss Strickland is as calm as you can get. And I told her after the kid left, I said, Miss Holly, I said, you were amazing. Why did you need me over here? She said, I just needed a male figure for him to look at. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, but I just learned from you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She's great.
And then I got left there, went back to Carlisle, and all the places I've worked at, Mansfield is home.
Okay, gotcha.
All the places I've ever worked at, Carlisle is the one place that is just, I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we've been back. This is our 7th or 8th year back. We built the house.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Got 4 kids.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, 4.
After 3, you lose count, I think.
Exactly.
Right?
Not all girls, right?
No, the only girl is 18. And that's the one we struggle with. Gosh, dog.
18 and girl, that's all.
So how long were the fellas? How old are they?
10 and 8 and 4.
Okay, so I got you. Yeah.
Woo,
Yeah, so you got all the things you got.
I'll be retiring anytime.
No,
well, hey, it's
not
just
for a while.
Like Kristen Canadle said, he thought about that until he had 3 girls. Now he's got 3 weddings. He said, I'll be working until it's.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah. So any surprises as first-year superintendent? I mean,
holy smokes! It's crazy.
It's drinking from a fire hose. There's no doubt.
And it's. The one thing I love about it is every day you get there, you really don't know what's.
That's right.
That's in about all education.
Oh yeah.
We all get that, but.
Right.
And it's just such a different aspect of education because you're used to, even as a building principal, you're in there and you're still on that academic side and you're in touch with everything going on, and you kind of a little bit lose that at the. And I find myself going back to the high school.
Oh yeah.
Just to be in the office.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That hustle and bustle of it.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest thing is, we all know it, but it's such a. The superintendent role, it's such a different role in the fact of it's a business.
Sure, 100%.
Right.
And that is,
for
me, walking into where we're at, we're obviously we're like any other small school. We're trying to find money where we can find money.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And that's the biggest thing is it's a business and you're running it.
Yeah, that's
well,
right.
and the best thing, it sounds like, your path similar, to a lot of us. When I got to the superintendency, but having all of those experiences, teacher, coach, principal, assistant principal, whatever the case might be. Looking back, I tell you, it helped me make some decisions and see it through their eyes.
Oh, yeah. And I say this to people and they laugh at me. I really think, and I know I'm saying it because I'm a small school superintendent, and I hope I never have to leave Carlisle.
Right.
But I really believe it would help benefit young superintendents to start out at a smaller school. Right now I'm the transportation director.
Yeah.
And I drive a bus route because we don't have enough drivers.
Right.
I'm AD still for another year. It's something every day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But like you said, I think to me, the challenge was also the thing I probably love most about it.
Yeah.
Because you always the first thing on your to-do list is to get rid of your to-do list, right? Every day.
Oh yeah, I have a little deal I keep in my back pocket, and I love marking stuff off.
Right. Yeah.
But then it just fills back up.
Yeah, that's right.
And you mentioned that challenge. It is, and I don't know. It's just because I'm a competitive person.
Sure.
Or what it is, and I think a lot of us that are in education or coaching or whatever, we all are that way.
Yeah.
But my wife, she told me, she's like, it's funny because I look at your eyes, and she said I could see that. You had that time as a principal, and you needed something different. And she said, I can see the light in your eyes now.
Yeah.
And I do.
Yeah.
I come home every day, and I've enjoyed my day.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't you really love the opportunity, really and truly? We have a tremendous responsibility, but I say it like this when I talk to teachers, administrators. But, man, what an opportunity to encourage, the educators of tomorrow and really get in there as a superintendent and help them mold them to be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
And I think of one teacher that I had as a principal that comes to my mind when you say that.
Right.
Her name was Sarah Blair. She's in Missouri now. She's a principal.
Yeah.
And I hired her, and then Cabot hired her from me.
Right.
But I told her first time I talked to her, well, it was not the first time, probably about halfway through the school year, I could see how good she was. And I just told her, I said, listen, hey, I want you to come talk to me. And I said, you need to start this program.
100%.
I said, because you get it.
Yes.
I said, you're a great teacher. You're great with kids. You're good with our people. And we all understand, especially in small schools, our good people, we load them down.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was
yeah.
that person I would go to
Yeah.
when I
Oh,
needed
yeah.
help, or if she knew it. I mean,
Yeah.
but it is fun to see that.
Yeah.
And it,
Because just like you said, I think, too, back to the people that poured into me and saw something in me probably I didn't, and encouraged me along the way. And that's something I've never lost sight of. Because, I mean, we tell folks, even folks we have at the co-op, that may come up with an opportunity and they'll come in kind of squeamish thinking about, well, we don't want to make them mad or whatever. But long story short is, if I didn't have people pouring into me, guess what? I would not had the opportunities that I've had. So, and at the end of the day, they know what's best for them and theirs, right?
Yeah.
And I want to do everything I can, just like people did for me, to get where they want to be. So.
Well, it's a funny story for me. Coleman, he was the principal at Norflet. I can't remember his first name. Well, anyways, he was my high school principal when I got to Norflet. And he asked me, he said, are you doing your master's? And I was in my master's in sports administration at that time.
Right.
'Cause I was like, I want to be an AD.
Right.
And he said, you need to stop that. He said, listen, you don't have to like me or listen to anything I had to say. He said, but I'm going to tell you, if you're going to go ahead and do your master's, get it in administrative or educational leadership. Right. And I said, I don't want to be a principal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He said,
too.
You don't ever know what you want to be. He said, but if you want to get a master's, do it in that.
Right.
So it was good to be able to come back to Norflet, and it was his last year that Norflet smacked over Consolidated.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and the first day I got to see him again, he came up to me and said, how's that sports administration? And I said, don't think every day. I don't think about what you told me that.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I didn't want to ever be a principal, and now look at you.
Now
You're an assistant principal. So,
well, and same kind of thing with me. I can remember finishing up my ed leadership in principalship, and I thought that's as far as I want to go. And somebody I ran into and said, aren't you going to get your superintendent? It's only XYZ hours, and and I was like, but I can remember that person, them having that conversation, and I said the same thing. I don't want to be no superintendent, but the best thing is, and I tell this to all the young beginning teachers and administrators, the best thing you can do is be prepared. So when the door does, if it presents itself, at least on paper, have the ability to say yes or no.
Well, and that's what, as a principal and as a superintendent with our staff, because we get a lot of young staff. Staff members.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time. I said, I'm going to promote you.
Right.
Do the job. I said, and you need to make sure that you're able to promote yourself. Go out and get these extra things.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I said, because that's what's best. I said, you're going to get your foot in the door here.
Yeah.
And I said, but I'm not naive enough to think that this is where you're going to end.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
Darren gave me my first. He hired me as assistant high school principal at Fountain Lake.
Yeah.
Gave me my first administrative job. Then he hires me again at the co-op.
Yeah.
There you go.
What was that?
Think, what was
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but I mean seriously, you have somebody that
Right.
Well, they pour into you and help you, and I've learned, I'm going to be nice and say I did learn a lot. I have learned a lot from Darren.
Well, the good thing about that is, though, we said it earlier, is just the relationship piece.
Right.
But for me, knowing, and the opportunity to have that spot at the co-op, I mean, wasn't no question. I mean, I knew who I was going after.
Yeah.
Took a little convincing, but.
Not a lot of convincing.
Yeah, not a lot.
Because I was middle school principal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a level that, good Lord, that's your soul.
Yeah. And
he's been a middle school.
as weird as that is, that was probably some of my favorite years looking back on it now. I mean, I can remember as the assistant principal and principal looking at the middle schooler and saying, well, number one, lay off the axe, right?
Yeah.
But number two, hey, I've either done it, got caught doing it, or thought about doing it. You're not recreating
I want to say this, too, because we're talking about middle school. That was one of the things that I really, because obviously middle school, they don't know what they want to do.
Sure, absolutely.
At
right.
all different ways,
Yeah.
right? Because we were 7-12 as a principal is what I was.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing that I enjoyed being a principal over doing anything else I've ever done, is because I was able to bond and get with all of our kids.
Sure.
It wasn't just the athletes. It wasn't just these or these. It was every one of our kids. And some of our hardest kids were my favorite kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
So,
well,
we can tell you got that heart, the right heart for education. That's awesome.
And that's the key right there, right?
Hey, and we use you guys for ALE.
ALE, yeah, absolutely.
I've been talking to Tim. Tim's our guy at art. He's like, what are y'all going to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
I said, well, I've already canceled Friday. I said, I'm waiting to see on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and we've got speaking of incredible leaders, I mean, Todd Lewis.
Todd, yeah.
I mean, can't say enough good things, but he runs an exceptional program. Yeah. I wish I could match his energy. I mean, he's my age, or maybe
right now
I don't
I'm
know.
a little upset with him because he showed me that picture of that deer he killed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
A little jealous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, man, appreciate it.
Yeah,
and if
thank
we
y'all.
can ever do anything for you, let us know. Yeah.
Nice
Thank
to
y'all.
meet
Yeah.
Nice
Appreciate
Get you a hat.
Yeah, grab a hat on the way out. So make sure you show that when you get that to Brad.
Yeah,
Say,
wear that in front of Brad.
That's
you know,
right.
get a
That's
picture of Brad.
This is probably year 4 or 5 on the podcast. Well, we do this one's live, but what we typically do, just really we don't have a set schedule. But
try to push them out a couple times a month.
Well, I tell you what,
you'll have to watch them.
Yeah, we're on YouTube is the video piece of it, but it's Spilling the Tea in Studio D. And like I said, I'll be honest, we've told the co-ops this, and they're good. You know, if something you want to highlight, let us know. We go on the road a lot now.
Yeah,
so.
we will.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Hey, what's going on, man? All right.
Cameron.
So we've had all kinds today.
Man, we got is she getting all the young? She's getting all the young.
Here, flip that around. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah.
It's a test. You got to figure out how to put it on.
Yeah. So, what I would say, we've had experienced superintendents this morning. We've had a couple of first years, and now you are the first soon to be
first year.
Yeah. So, you excited about it?
I'm really excited.
Right now, anyway. Right.
Yeah,
Talk to you in a year.
Yeah, that's right. We're in the honeymoon phase.
That's right. That's right.
Until the keys get passed over.
So let's talk about your experience a little bit from an educational standpoint, your journey, because yours is pretty unique. I mean, it kind of runs in the family, if you will. Yeah. How did you get interested? Was it ever a time when you saw your dad and mom in education thinking, man, I'm not doing that?
No, I really loved it. I was a teacher's kid and a superintendent's kid.
Right.
When we first started, my dad was middle school principal at Gardens, the first thing I remember.
Okay.
I know he was at Fush Valley before that.
Right.
When I started, remember he was the middle school principal at Gardens. And my mom was journalism, English, Spanish, softball, basketball coach. Did a lot of everything.
Wow.
She actually had like a back room.
Yeah.
And we would stay the night there sometimes during yearbook season so she could get that done.
Get that done.
And I just always liked school. I loved it when I was growing up. A lot of the people in Nashville were like, hey, I'm ready to graduate and get out of here. I'm like, man, I do this forever. My mom does my laundry.
Sure. Oh, yeah,
I get to play ball and go to school, make grades. So
absolutely.
I always loved education. I got into it. Coached a little bit at El Dorado under Scott Reed, great guy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There taught United States history, 11th grade, and 9 through 12 Arkansas history, kind of whoever they needed a class for, they threw them in there with me.
Yeah.
Then was assistant middle school principal at Camden Fairview, and this is my 3rd year as elementary principal at Magnet, and also superintendent July 1. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, well, and the good thing is, like I said, you know, I talked about this earlier. Sometimes, and I'm not knocking it. We've had plenty of great superintendents that never, you know, did all the things. But I mean, doing all the things like you're saying, teaching, coaching. Assistant principal.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you a whole lot of perspective to bring to the table, right?
Yes, sir. Being K-12, and I know it wasn't necessarily I was at one of them for a long time, but it was great to see, like, going from high school to middle school was a lot different than going from middle school to elementary.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
It was a huge change as well, so I've got to deal with the kids at all those age gaps.
That's right.
I actually really liked I love the elementary kids we have now, and to get my little dose of middle school kids at church, I work with the 7th and 8th grade boys just to get a little bit of that middle school still.
That's awesome.
So I like being around the kids and stuff like that at all the age gaps, and I hope to keep doing that as superintendent.
100%. And like I said, you know, if and when a situation may present itself, but just, you know, having that reflection of what it was like to be a principal, a coach, a teacher, it's all there. And you know, in a lot of days when you can't be sympathetic, you can for sure be empathetic.
100%. Yeah. I still drive a bus too, so I can.
You're keeping it real, ain't you?
Hey, so how much trouble did you get in when your dad was superintendent?
So my dad was at Kirby. My parents are actually split. So my mom, we went to Nashville. I played football at Nashville.
Okay.
Went on to play at Ouachita. So Dad was actually he wasn't there all the time. I did get in trouble at school one time at Nashville, more than once, but I got sent to the office one time at Nashville.
One time, that's all it took.
And Tate Gordon, I'll go go on record and say this. Tate Gordon he's the assistant superintendent at Nashville now. He's a high school principal, and I just walked in and I said, Mr. Gordon, will you just whoop my butt and not call my mama? That's all I wanted. No, he called my mama. Then I went and I said, well, can I call her? And so I called her, and then I ran over to the field house, told Coach Dawson, and of course then it was miserable at that time.
Oh yeah.
They get you at school. And practice, and actually baseball season. So I got a little dose of it from Coach Slayton too.
Oh yeah.
I got a 4 for 1.
Oh yeah.
Just took one.
Yeah. Well, you know.
That's awesome.
And those days are gone. You know, my dad tells a story. He grew up in Fountain Lake, and he graduated in mid-50s. But anyway, he said they were going to sneak into Hot Springs and play pool, right? And he said they see your buddy's car go by. They were hitchhiking. Buddy pulled over, and what it was, the principal got the guy's key. And so he said when they got back there, he said, now, boys, he said, we're going to do one of two things. And same thing, my dad jumped up and said, hey, tear me up. You know?
Don't call home.
That's right, yeah. So, but as it is in most school communities, especially that size, it got home before he did. So, he got it on both ends too. So what are you most looking forward to, you think?
I think I do it a little bit now as elementary principal. I get to see everybody, but I like going into all the buildings and things like that. And I'm big on relationships, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Still doing, car duties and things like that. Just doing it from a bigger perspective.
Right.
And it's a new challenge. I mean, Mr. Thomas has done an outstanding job at Magnet. I love him. He's been a great mentor. He's helped me with the fiscal part of it, things like that. So just looking forward to building those relatirships and continue to do the great work he's doing.
He hired me as middle school principal.
Well, don't hold that against him, okay?
No.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Hey,
okay, I see how this
that's in that chapter of that book that gives you things not to do, right? All right. Well,
great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Great leader.
Great leader. And again, think a lot of your dads. He's still doing the Alaska thing?
Yeah, he is. He's actually he might not want me to go on record and say this. He's home right now. He's having some health issues right now. He's planning on going back as soon as he gets
So how does that work? I mean, he comes home for a bit, goes back, or?
Yeah, so they get 30 vacation days every year, and that sounds pretty sweet, but you get 2.5 a month. And so he kind of accumulated some last year, and he has some available now. But his superintendent's real good with him. She lets him work from home every now and then. So I think he probably took 8 or 10 vacation days, and then some days he's worked from home. I was here for Christmas and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that. So, it's been it's an experience for sure.
Yeah, so. I can't imagine, but if anybody could pull it off, it'd be your dad.
Yeah, he's going. I think he might go back one more, but I think he's getting ready to.
Man, the thing I always loved about your dad, he was one of those guys. Even when I was young and getting in it, I mean, always had a smile on his face first and foremost. But man, do anything for anybody, and those are the kinds of people you don't forget, and it's helped me pay it forward too, because he's like, man, that ain't no deal, So
he's always willing to help somebody, and that's like he was around all the time too. I remember actually I truly did love school. I didn't like homework and stuff like that. I love school, but our breaks would be a little different. And Kirby had the deer days, And so we had 5 days on Thanksgiving break. Well, I always wanted to go to when they were at school Monday, Tuesday. I'd go to school with Dad and hang out with Marty Smith. Coach Robert Tucker and all them at the school and just have a good time. So I went to school. I went to school when we were out. So
that's awesome.
They're gonna be like, okay, he's a nerd.
No, I was just wanting to hang out.
Well, man, good luck to you. I know you're gonna do great things, and obviously it goes without saying. If you need anything from us, call Candace. That's what I usually tell folks. But if you want the real, call me. Okay.
So I need the real.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Get you a hat.
Yeah, get you a hat, man.
We'll see you
Appreciate you very much. You betcha.
That's awesome. Yeah, pick you one out. Move them.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. All right. See you, Cameron.
Just right here. Just grab something.
What do you need?
I need something to drink. I'm dying. Just grab a Sprite or something. I don't care. Yeah.
He's like, give me a Sprite.
Yeah. Yeah. Good Lord. Thank you.
Oh.
You're podcasting. This is a real life podcast, none of that AI business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a real podcast.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Helping me out with a drink. So, yeah. So, at least somebody's working around behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, man, we got big time here. We got John Ashworth, I guess the superintendent. We kind of changed that name up a little bit, right?
Yeah. It's well, actually, the way the title broke down is we kind of follow what other leaders are doing in other states. So, everybody has an executive director. So most people in my position in other states are executive director or superintendent.
Right.
And so my title is executive director and superintendent.
Sure. Well, and the thing about, he's with Virtual Arkansas, by the way. I don't think we put that out there. And
you might want to mention that.
But the thing is, you guys are really structured, like a school system as far as that goes. And maybe
Principals.
just, as far as Virtual Arkansas goes, maybe spit that out real quick about what that is, because I know a lot of virtual talk out there these days. Lots of, people that I don't know. There's just lots of things out there, but tell us exactly what Virtual Arkansas is and what you guys do.
Yeah, so Virtual Arkansas is the state, what we call the state virtual school. So nationally, that's what we'd be classifying.
Right.
We're not a school in the sense that we provide diplomas. We're a supplemental program that provides resources and supports in the education world for almost every district around the state. So we serve about 94% of all the districts in the state and 97% of all the rural schools, which is our bread and butter, is what we say.
And I think it's important, too, to talk a little bit about the importance of your existence to the rural schools and what it is. Let's just take – it's hard to say an average school, but just a school that maybe what it is you guys kind of push in and help with.
You bet. So think about a small rural school that has mandates to provide computer science courses or a number of different advanced placement courses. Or let's say they need or should provide opportunities for students to take concurrent credit courses. We know that concurrent credit teachers, for example, have to have 18 hours plus in a specific area. So it's very difficult in a rural area to get all of the get a teacher with all the requirements to provide those opportunities for the student in that area. So what we do is we step in when they cannot do that. And we say, okay, we will provide the content, the curriculum, the teacher. And we're going to provide the same opportunity for your student that the larger urban, suburban school down the road gives to their student. So what we like to say is we provide educational equity in the state of Arkansas.
Well, and the thing is, all things, people like to say all things being equal or whatever, but that's not the same with virtual. And again, I'm not knocking anybody. I just know I'm close to this program, and I know the efforts and the quality that you guys produce and put out.
Yeah, quality, well, typically a district or any leader will have a mission, a vision, and your core values. So quality is one of our core values. And so we have to be dedicated to quality. If we're going to provide content, it's got to be the best content.
If
we're going to provide teachers, we want those teachers to be top-notch teachers. So we're committed to quality in everything that we do.
And the other part, I think, that speaks to your quality. There's lots of levels of that, but even just the respect that you guys garner across the country. I mean, you guys are looked upon as, a model program, if you will. And that don't come easy.
Oh no, it takes strategic planning. Being very specific about where you're going, where you want to be. Part of that is not just sitting in a closed room and saying, "Here's what we're going to do." It's looking what other programs around the nation they're doing, and saying, "Okay, that's really good. We need that in Arkansas." So we keep a finger on the pulse of virtual learning in the whole nation, and we're part of a group that comes together, and they're called the Virtual Learning Leadership Alliance, and we get to see what others are doing. We get to share best practices. It is the best professional development. I would say the superintendents here would say, coming to something like this is some of the best professional development, because they're going to be able to sit in a room with other superintendents, and they're going to listen to what's working well in another district, and they can say, That's really good. I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
Well, two of the things that I do appreciate about that fact is a couple things. You guys are very forward thinking in that. A lot of times, when I hear people bring up stuff, you guys have been doing it, or either you're chasing it. You know what I'm saying?
You bet.
And then the other part of that is you do go out and find maybe something somewhere else. But not only do you say that's something good, but you come back and say, how can we make it better for the students of Arkansas?
Right. So everybody's heard me say this multiple times, but General Stanley, he was the director of the National Guard at the national level. I had the privilege of listening to him speak. If you ever have a chance to go hear a 3-star general, I would recommend you do it.
Right.
There's a reason why they got 3 stars.
Sure.
And anyway, I went to listen to him, and this was back in, I think it was 2012. I had been a principal for about 4 years. So I was fairly young in the leadership position, and something that he said during that talk impacted me. Sometimes we hear something and it gets deep in your soul, and it just becomes part of you. And that something he said did that for me. And here's what he said. He said, if you don't stay ahead of change, not just keep up with it. If you don't stay ahead of change, you're going to find yourself insignificant as an individual or an organization.
Yeah, a lot of truth in
that. And so that hit me hard. And he's totally right. And so that's another reason, speaking of our core values, innovation will always be a core value of anywhere that I am.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the reason why we're committed to innovation is to do our level best to stay ahead of change, so we're doing the right things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And again, like I say, there are lots of options out there, but, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, your folks get it, and just, we house the career and technical version or piece or arm of Virtual Arkansas. But so we're kind of close to the action, and the time spent, those teachers spend with the kids, even on the basically, I don't know if you call it a non-instruction day, but how they are so open and so available. I think that's another thing that sets you guys apart is the fact that those instructors are available.
It definitely does. We look at a lot of models on virtual instruction and teaching and learning, and a lot of programs will use part-time teachers that aren't available during the day to students.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you were to ask any educator, especially leaders around here, and you say, what's the most important thing? And it's going to be, relationships is going to be up there, probably number one for most people.
Oh, yeah.
And so if we're going to be committed to relationships, we need teachers to be available to students and provide live instruction sometimes during the week. And so we have been committed, and we're a little different, a lot different than a lot of other programs that way, that we have full-time teachers that are available to students during the day.
Right. Well, man, we appreciate it. We're trying to roll through. We got, looks like 1 or 2 more maybe, and then
one more.
But what I would say to you, man, keep up the great work. Appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us.
Yeah.
And so
it's good to see you too.
All right, man.
I'll be down at your place soon.
Okay, man. Good to see you. Thanks. All right.
Grab
Thanks. Yeah, grab a hat on the way out.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Do what now? Oh, I've been there. Oh, no.
Yeah. Just. Uh-oh.
That's right, exactly.
How did you get Mark Taylor to come on this podcast? No.
Well, you know what?
Hey, Mark Taylor.
Flip that around, microphone. There you go. You know what the golden rule of show business is, right?
What's that?
You leave the best act for last.
That's
exactly right. I'm the closer.
You are the closer?
I'm the closer.
You are the Elvis of the podcast.
That's
today,
right.
That's right. Well, good. Eldest?
Elvis.
Elvis.
Today is Elvis's
good.
birthday.
Thank you very much. How about that?
Yeah, it is his birthday today.
Yeah. So, man, what do you think? Mark Taylor here. He's the new co-op director at Archford, which is located in beautiful downtown metropolis of Plummerville, Arkansas. Yeah. So give me a little background on that facility down there. I've only been down there a couple times. Parts of it an old school?
Yeah, so the old Plummerville School District, when they merged with South Conway County, they closed the school down there.
Right.
And then I think the superintendent at Morrilton at that time was Dr. Fullerton.
Yeah.
he leased that.
Okay.
To the co-op.
Right.
And gave them access to that, and it's really been an incredible.
That's
great
facility.
It is a great facility,
and
great, and just heads up for to think that far ahead.
Oh, yeah,
and because it's really helped the town. It keeps
yeah.
Farmerville
sure,
hopping
absolutely.
with all the traffic we get through there during the summer.
Right.
But it's been a great use of that facility. So many teachers come through there, administrators.
Absolutely.
So
now, where are you from originally?
Well, look, I was born to be in the school business because my dad was a preacher, and so every few years they get mad at you, they run you off, So same thing as a
superintendent
coach,
right.
So I was used to that. So, but no, I graduated high school from Lamar.
Okay.
Yep. And then went to Arkansas Tech. Actually got my start in coaching. I actually coached college football for a while at Arkansas Tech University. Spent a couple years at UAM, and then came back. Got into high school, and just kind of worked my way up in administration from there.
Yeah. So outside of co-op director, what's been your favorite job along that path, you think?
I most loved being high school football coach.
Yeah.
I felt like I had such a great time with those kids.
Sure.
And there's just something about that Friday nights that are special in Arkansas,
Oh, no doubt.
So that's probably the favorite thing. My favorite thing.
And never was a head coach myself, but assistant coach. But I would tend to agree with you because it's football's great, but even those life lessons.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had so many success stories with our kids that because everything you do, everything in football, you can relate it to life somehow.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
So when it got to come, last year the job pops open. What got you interested in?
Well, it was a hard decision because I've been at Hector. I've been the superintendent at Hector for 8 years, and I had such a wonderful time up there with those people. So I was very happy.
Sure. Right. Oh, absolutely.
But there was you looked around that room, and all of a sudden I'm in the top 5 longest tenured superintendents.
Oh yeah, right.
And, a couple of the other guys that had been there a long time, hey, we're not interested, And so it really just kind of came down to, I took a look around the room, and they looked at me and said, hey, would you be interested?
Yeah.
And that means a lot when your colleagues
absolutely
support you.
Yeah.
And comes back to relationships.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
And I think that one of the draws is I wanted to how do we grow this cause? How do we make us relevant?
That's right. Yep.
We want to be relevant. We want to be I knew what the co-op meant to our school district.
Sure,
a small rural school district. I know what they meant to us, and I wanted to make sure that we continue to offer those services above and beyond.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and the thing too, I mean, it sounds like you've been a lot like me, and somebody told me that early on. If you get a job, you're going to get money. But if you can get in there and find a profession that you get passionate about, or and you don't dread going to work. And man, I've just been blessed with that my entire life. And this job as a co-op director is no different.
Me too. And you look up some days and you're like, where did the time go?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Like, where did the time go? Because it goes so fast.
Yes.
And that. I couldn't believe how fast all these last few years have gone. In administration, it seems to accelerate.
Oh, it does,
100%.
And I would say in education right now, we're not the downtimes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Christmas break's about it,
that's
isn't it?
about it, yeah.
Because the rest of the year, it's hopping.
It's popping.
Yeah, and it seems like, the moment Christmas is over, you're like, boom, right back in.
Absolutely.
I was telling my wife the other day, we had one son, right? And the thing about him, his senior year, he had one of those Christmas tournaments, and they're everywhere now.
They are.
And I was
everywhere.
like, oh, thank God.
I went to one too. My daughter's a sophomore.
Gotcha. So you're living it.
I spent 3 days at Rosebud, in a beautiful school. Beautiful
That's right.
But you're sitting there going, but I don't have to be on duty right now.
That's right. That's right.
Well, it's funny. Like my very first time, I went back to a softball game, right, and they had a player go down. Mm-hmm. And I was there. My kid was still in school at Fountain Lake. They were playing, and one of the moms came up and said, "Mr. Beckwith, we got a girl go down." And I was like, "Okay, for what I jumped right back in it."
Exactly.
So, but yeah,
it's like riding a bike.
That's right. Exactly. So it looks like Kate. What is that? Yeah. Is that a Gucci watch? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. See, see what I got to work with.
I see what you got to work with.
Hey, we did coordinate, but he wouldn't take the memo and wear pink today. Mark.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know
come
what
on.
I'm saying? I told him I got in the middle. We look like a Mike and Ike. You know what I'm saying? So I thought I did well.
I thought you did too.
Well, man, here's a promise we'll make to you. How about this? One day we're going to load up the podcast and we're going to come down and set up down there at your place if you'll have us.
Absolutely.
And you kind of show us off what you do. So.
I would absolutely love you guys to visit. You know, one of the things about the co-ops is everyone has there's little differences in all of them, you know, which is unique. And so, I'd love to show you guys what we're all about.
And we'll have Candace buy us lunch. How about that?
Candace.
Okay.
You can buy some lunch at the store over there.
There you go. Okay. All right. Well, man, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good to see you, buddy. You betcha.
Thank you, Angela.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, I guess this is year 3 that we're wrapping it up.
Does Mark want a Dawson
Yeah.
hat?
Hey, you can get a Studio D hat. Yeah.
He can get Studio D.
Yeah, there we go. See, there we go. That's right.
He's like, I'm not wearing a Dawson hat.
You got to know how to sell it, sister. I thought I've taught you something.
Whatever.
So, but anyway, what I would tell you is this is third year. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna what we're gonna do is
Chad, you don't want to be on the podcast.
we're gonna wrap this one up, I guess. Then, right? And what we'll do is tell you for year number 3, Superintendent Symposium. Hopefully, we'll be back in the summer at the big conference doing the live.
Hopefully, you don't get yelled at on the way home by
That's true.
car.
By driving, that's true. People just don't understand good driving. But this is what I will say. So I think 2005 we've got more guests lined up. We're really excited about
2005?
25.
You know. He said 2005.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
We're not going back to 2005.
Right. So, but what I was trying to get at, I mean, we've got some good students lined up. We've got some great schools, and obviously, I mean, one of the things Candace and I talk about, we are going to try to get out with more of the co-ops because, as Mark alluded to, the good thing about co-ops, everybody really has their own niche that they're really good at, and we got great co-ops across the state, and we need to do our part in highlighting our brother and sister in the co-op.
That's right.
So until next time, this will do it for Spilling the Tea in Studio D.
Are we on?